Hafide and good morning, everyone. Sijis Masi for being here today. This is the Committee on Education, Air Transportation, and Statistics Research and Planning. And we will now convene this confirmation hearing. Today is Thursday, January 2nd, 2020, and the time now is 10:03 a.m. For the record, and in accordance with the open government law, public notices were sent out via email to all senators, stakeholders, and main media broadcasting outlets on December 23, 2019 for the 5-day notice, and again on December 26, 2019 for the 48-hour notice. Notice of today's confirmation hearing was also available on the Guam Legislature's website. With me today, we have Senator Sabina Perez. Thank you very much for being here. And on today's agenda, we have the appointment of Felicitas Angel to serve as a member, retired teacher, or school administrator of GDOE, a representative for the Guam Education Board. The duties of the Guam Education Board shall be responsible for all policies that govern the Department of Education. The board shall have the authority to delegate such of its powers as it may deem appropriate, but shall retain the ultimate responsibility for these following powers: select and appoint a superintendent, receive, evaluate, and act upon the recommendations and reports of the superintendent, adopt an annual budget and control expenditures accordingly, adopt student performance standards and assessment models, ensure that the superintendent addresses the proper administration for all mandated responsibilities, adopt attendance areas and school boundaries, sue and/or defend itself in suits at law, report routine complaints and concerns related to the department, have no business or interest which will conflict with the activities of the board, establish student discipline policy, establish a school calendar, establish graduation standards, periodically review established policies for refinement and improvement, serve as Guam State Education Policy and Governing Board for federal programs, act as the approving authority on behalf of the Department for collective bargaining agreements, make recommendations to the governor or the Guam legislature for changes or deletions to Guam education laws, and each newly elected or appointed board member shall complete during the first year of the member's first term a training program to be prepared and offered by the University of Guam and the department regarding the skills and knowledge necessary to serve as a local school board member. Also, the role of the board, as with any legislative body, is to act collectively, not individually, and to adopt a policy concerning the use of electronic security systems on school campuses to include but not limited to emergency contact protocols. So this is a very extensive list of duties that every board member must adhere to. And so we'd like to thank Ms. Felicitas Angel for accepting this nomination from the governor. And I'd like to invite those who have signed up today to give testimony to come up to the table. So we have Mr. Birch from the Guam Education Board, Mr. Mark Mendiola, and we also have, of course, Mr. and Mrs. Angel, who are here, who I will call up after the testimony is given. Superintendent, if you'd like to give testimony. Okay, please state your name for the record and you may begin.
Hafidi, Honorable Senator Amanda Shelton, Honorable Senator Sabina Perez. First off, Happy New Year. We're the first group, I guess, to testify in the first decade, in this new decade. So I just want to thank you for the opportunity, and of course, the Honorable Senator Telena Nelson for allowing us to, have this discussion regarding the Board of Education. So I appreciate the refresher course because, I mean, when you read through that listing of what the duties and responsibility of the board, I can reassure you that everybody on the board take our roles very seriously. I mean, it's a major task. It's one of the largest government of Guam agencies. And there's just a lot of things that we have to be aware of. So we're grateful for the opportunity to be here to testify. So I'll read my testimony into the record. Dear Vice Speaker Nelson, I thank you for the opportunity. Senator Shelton, thank you for the opportunity today to be here on behalf of the Guam Education Board to offer support for Governor Lulian Guerrero's nomination of Felicitas Angel to fill the GEB's retired educator position. As you know, the GEB is comprised of 9 voting members, 6 of whom are elected by the public, and 3 of whom are appointed by the governor with the advice and consent of the Guam legislature. When we began our term in January 2019, there were only 5 members, the bare minimum necessary to function. However, with the appointments of Mr. Birch, John Birch, Ms. Carlin Borla, and Mr. Ray Chargalev, we have been better able to fulfill our duties and responsibilities. Completing our board with the addition of Ms. Angel will only allow us to be more effective in our work. Besides the simple need to ensure our board's functionality, Ms. Angel brings to the board over 20 years of teaching within the Department of Education, over 50 years in education over her lifetime. The voice of educators is paramount in ensuring the board's decisions reflect the challenges and opportunities that teachers see in the front line. We value that voice, and we look forward to Ms. Angel, with the legislature's consent, being an active and valuable member of the GEB. We thank the governor for nominating Ms. Angel, and we thank Ms. Angel for being willing to step forward. It is no easy task to serve on GEB, but our mission and the support we can provide to our students and families are critical to the future of our island community. And just on a personal note, there are many teachers that make a major impact in the lives of our kids on a daily basis. And I recall back to the teachers that made a large impact in my educational journey. And it's one of the reasons why I'm able to sit here and articulate certain missions and messages. It's because they allowed me and afforded me the opportunity and the attention I needed while I was going to school. So to have an educator sit on our board who has 50 years of experience, that voice is going to be well respected. I think we have a good cross-section of our community on our board, and I think it's important for us to have that type of representation on the board so that all voices are represented, and when we make a decision, it's based on input from those perspectives. So, Undunkel and Institutus Masi, look forward to a great new year, and I just thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much for that testimony, Mr. Chair. Mr. Birch?
Yes, good morning, Senators. Senator Shelton, Senator Paris. Happy New Year to both of you. And just like Mr. Manjola stated, it's kind of unique for us to be the first one to testify in the new year. I'll just go straight into and reading my testimony. I thank you for allowing us this opportunity to be here today to testify in support of Governor Lulian Guerrero's nomination of Mrs. Felicitas Angel to serve as a member on the Guam Education Board. With the consent of the Guam legislature, her appointment as a representative of the retired teacher, school administrator of the Guam Department of Education will complete the membership of the Guam Education Board. Her addition to the GEB will help us to meet our mission of setting policy and direction for the Guam Department of Education. Serving on the Guam Education Board is an honor, but it is also hard work. Along with the GEB's regular monthly meetings are numerous work sessions, community meetings, testimonies at public hearings before the Guam legislature, and participation in various school functions throughout the year whenever needed. I look forward to Mrs. Angel's appointment to the GEB, and I thank her for agreeing to join us in this hard but rewarding work. Therefore, I humbly request the legislature to move forward quickly in filling this 9th board position. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to testify in support of Mrs. Angel. So nomination, I thank you for investing your time in the lives of our students. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Birch. Mr. Superintendent?
Good morning and Happy New Year, Senators. I didn't have a written testimony because obviously I know that the testimony of our board chair and our board members who've submitted will stand on their own, and I would only want to echo their sentiments. I do want to just say a thank you to Ms. Angel for stepping up and accepting the nomination. This particular position on the Guam Education Board isn't an easy one to fill, and I've worked very closely with the administration as they've tried to ensure that to complete the membership of the board. So we know that our teachers, it's a sad day when they retire, because especially those who've served so long in the department, sad for us because we're losing the experience of our teachers. Hopefully a good day for them to celebrate their hard work. But to have someone who's going to retire and then to accept an opportunity to do more service in a different capacity for our kids is very commendable. And so I've spoken to her. I said, this is really the largest government agency. It's not necessarily the easiest board to serve on because it is a lot of hard work. But I wanted to just say thank her for being willing to help complete the board with her involvement. And then obviously would ask the support of the legislature in confirming her to this position. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Superintendent, and thank you very much, gentlemen, and Happy New Year to you all. We also have Mr. Christian Valencia who'd like to give testimony, and I believe Dr. Ron McNinch, a member of the board, so you can please come up to the table. Christian, please state your name for the record.
Hafdang, good morning, Madam Chair, Senator Perez. My name is Christian Valencia. I'm testifying in support of the confirmation of Mrs. Angel. I write in support of Imagahaga's appointment of Mrs. Felicitas B. Angel to serve as the retired teacher member of the Guam Education Board. My support stems from my experience as a former student of Mrs. Angel back in 8th grade at F.B. Leon Guerrero Middle School. Mrs. Angel was also my National Junior Honor Society, Academic Challenge Bowl, Leo Club, and Yearbook Club advisor. And since my time in middle school, she's kept in touch, offering congratulations for milestones or simply checking up on how I'm doing. I'm testifying today in support of Mrs. Angel because I want to show the committee how Mrs. Angel has made an impact in my life. I want to show the committee her accomplishments beyond the confines of a resume, that her many years in education were served helping and building a new generation of students that valued service. And there's no one more qualified to serve in the Guam Education Board as Mrs. Angel. Service has always been a core value that she exemplified and instilled in all of her students, and continues to do so today. More than ever, we need representatives in the board who are in touch with the ups and downs of student life and who know what it's like to be in our school system and appreciate it. Mrs. Angel's 51 years of experience in education and her service in our public school system would prove beneficial for the board. And I further implore the committee and the Guam legislature to duly confirm Mrs. Angel to continue to serve her island community. Sujus Mahasi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Valencia. Dr. McNinch?
Thank you, Senator Amanda, and certainly Senator Sabina, and thank you for this opportunity to be able to speak to the legislature today. My name is Ron McNinch. I'm a member of the school board, and I've served on the board for 3 years now. I just wanted to come down and give my positive support for Ms. Angel, and certainly let the legislature and the community know that the Board of Education is an important board. It's a hard-working board. It's one that has a lot of duties and jobs, and that we take our jobs seriously as board members. And I think that many of the things, I do not know Ms. Angel personally, but many of the things I've heard about her make her an ideal candidate to serve on this board, and she rounds out the board in general, given her wonderful background and experiences, as we just heard. I did want to make a couple of other suggestions for in the future. I think that the structure of this board should be changed. I know that there are 9 members, a third are appointed, and 2/3 are elected. I would hope that in the future we move the terms from 2 years or 3 years, depending on the cycle, to a 6-year cycle. And that would help stabilize and lengthen out. And so if it was an all-elected board, 3 would be elected every 2 years, and that would make a routine and regular appointment cycle. Or if it were all appointed. I think having an all-appointed or all-elected board would be preferable rather than the current mixed system. The other little thing that I would want to mention is there are ways for the legislature to make it far easier to run for this board. Right now, it's very difficult for a person to run for the school board. There's a lot of hoops they have to go through as if they're running for a major political office. Members of the board are treated in many of the same ways. I think that there's simply ways to streamline the processes, and I think we can look forward to having good discussions in the future on some of the things that we need to do to improve the board. And I know that the board's mindful of this, and we have had discussions on this with our peers in the last few months. In general, there's nothing more important, I think, board-wise than the Board of Education for our community. We represent parents, we represent students, and we represent the future of the community, because the future is really our students. And I greatly appreciate the opportunity to say a few words today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. McNinch. Is there anyone else who'd like to testify? There being no one else, I'd like to call up Ms. Felicitas Angel, if you'd like to give your testimony, ma'am.
Have a day, everyone, and a happy New Year to each and every one of you present this morning. I am Feli Angel, educator for the past so many years, working in a Catholic school, public school, Department of Defense school. I used to be the host nation culture teacher at George Dewey High School, Subic Naval Base in the Philippines, before we migrated to Guam. So we came to Guam, the whole family came to Guam in 1991, just right after the eruption of Mount Pinatubo in the Philippines. So I have a very supportive husband, Romy, and our union, marriage union of 47 years, has been blessed with 4 children. And 4 son-in-laws and daughters-in-law, and also 7 grandchildren. I just retired last year in the month of August, but I still retain or maintain my position as an adjunct instructor at the University of Guam. I love this course that I'm teaching, because I'm teaching my own language to students at the university who have been born and raised in the here on Guam, and they're trying to trace back their roots and learning their culture and language. Do you have any questions?
Sure. Thank you very much, Ms. Feli. I'm very pleased that you've accepted the appointment from the governor. Even after you just retired a few months ago, I see that you still have a willingness to work and serve our community, and so we're very thankful. Maybe you can just share a little bit of what your vision is for the Department of Education, where you see the department going, and what are some policies that you can think of that you'll be introducing to help the board move forward in the coming years.
My experiences in the public school system, which is a total of 21 years, have exposed me to the different stakeholders of the school community, of course, the students, the administrators, the faculty and the support staff, and the parents. And during these years, I have been teaching, I saw many opportunities for our students to learn more and to engage in learning much better. And I'm glad to see all those, what do you call this, like the Common Core, standard, the state standard Common Core. Now we are working on the standard-based grading, and that's the time I left the department. And this is actually giving more chances, more opportunities for students to really learn, not only inside the classroom, but outside the classroom as well. So if ever I made it to the board, I would probably work on student leadership, in the school, and also the involvement of parents. I think we need more parents to actively involve in the education of our children. And to be actively involved does not mean only that they see their children going to school, but also actively participating in school activities like academic challenge ball, sports, different sports that the school is offering. So if we see more visibility of the parents' presence in these activities, I think there will be more participation on the part of our students. And that is, I think, where we need more progress and we need more help. And of course, this is the biggest agency in our island, the Guam Department of Education. And there are so many challenges. Being there for so many years, I've been exposed to these challenges, but again, I'm very happy that a lot of our teachers in the education department have really gone above and beyond the call of their duty, making all those incentives so that the students will really feel that we are there for them. We are there to serve them. We are there to listen to them if they have challenges or problems in life, that things can be surmounted and these challenges can be resolved, and they can always further their education, because education is really, really very important. It is a lifelong process, and this is the only one of the weapons that we can use in order to succeed in our life. And again, every now and then we see to it that the students understand this. We always inculcate this stuff in their minds. And I think some are learning, or several are learning. That's why there's so much increase in the number of our students who are graduating from high school, as well as in college. In my years of teaching at UOG, I am seeing many students pursuing a college career, and I'm so proud of them. And these are not only Chamorro students, Filipino students, even our students from the neighboring islands. I see them working also towards obtaining their college degree. And I think they have learned the importance of preparing themselves academically so that they can also work in a place that they want to work in, and to show that they are progressing in their lives. Yeah, and in 2015, I was nominated as Teacher of the Year. I didn't make it, but I was one of the semifinalists. And this was the time also when I had a flat tire after teaching from UOG. So I went to the nearest auto shop, and there when I was just about parking, one of the attendants there came to me and said, "Mrs. Angel, what happened?" And then I talked to him, and then he was telling me that he's continuing his education. He is taking classes at GCC while working during the day. And then I called his name, and then he was surprised that I still remember him. "You still remember me after how many years already?" And then I told him, of course, and I congratulate you for having that desire to finish your studies. And then actually, I did not recognize him anymore. I only called his name because of the nameplate that I saw on his shirt. So to him, it was a joy that he is still remembered, right? And of course, on my part, I would say it's an accomplishment, even though it's so little, right? It's so little. Really, teaching is a service that is ongoing, service that it never stops. That's why when I stopped teaching, stopped coming to school. I usually come to school at 7:30 because on Mondays and Wednesdays, I have my academic challenge ball practices with the students. On Tuesdays, I have my National Junior Honor Society meeting. On Fridays, I have my Leo. On Thursdays, I have my yearbook club. So I usually come to school before 7:30. That's when my students come in. And then after that, we have a meeting for an hour, and then they start their day at 8:30. So I've been doing this for so many years, and I love doing it because in a way, I am contributing to having discipline and having our school being represented in these challenges. I remember the time when my academic challenge ball students defeated a Catholic school, and to them it was a major accomplishment already. And I said, no, you can always win, you can always learn, you can always beat them because you are learning. So it's so nice, really. That's why, I don't know, I'm 72 years old, but I think I'm only 27 because of the children, because of the kids. And that's why I really found it difficult to adjust after not waking up at 7:30 and going to school. For the first few months, even though my husband would tell me, you can still rest. And then now, when the governor talked to me and I said, can I really do the job? And then I sort of, with my husband's support, and our children. By the way, 3 of our children are already in the States, and we only have one here. And she's also a teacher at UP Elementary School. And my son-in-law, the husband, is also a teacher at UP Elementary School. So actually, my family members are serving for the protection of our island because I have two kids who are in the military, one in the Air Force and one in the Navy. I have a son-in-law who is in the Air Force, and then I have this daughter who is also a teacher, and then my daughter-in-law is a nurse. So we answer the protection, the health, and education of our island. Yeah.
Thank you.
And other parts of the world.
Thank you very much, Ms. Feli.
I'm a little bit nervous. It's my first time to be.
Oh, don't be nervous. You did very, very well. Thank you very much. I really appreciate what you shared about the department and your vision for giving a full experience, not just to our students, but also to our parents, all the stakeholders of the Department of Education. So we look forward to that when you are confirmed on the board. And now, Senator Sabina, if you have anything.
Thank you, Ms. Angel, for accepting the nomination. And just hearing you talk, the word that comes to mind is blessing. I think Guam is very blessed that you became a teacher, migrated to Guam, and served the people of Guam for so long. And I see the joy that comes from you, and just the inspiration that you have for all the generations of kids that you've taught. And we definitely are grateful for you accepting the nomination. I noticed that it's only till April 2020, so I hope that it could be extended, as far as the actual term length. So I'm hoping that that could be extended further. So you have my support, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you very much. I'd like to also state for the record that we received testimony from Ms. Maria A. Gutierrez from the Guam Education Board in support of your nomination as well. There being no other testimony, I'd like to thank you very much, Ms. Angel, for being here today, and we again look forward to your confirmation. The time now is 10:32, and we have exhausted all items on the agenda. Sadiwas Masi and Happy New Year, everyone.